Chapter 7. Gotta be wary. "Hey, Joseph," Ishi yelped. "Why you all the way over there? Come over here, we got breakfast cooking up." "Okay, coming," Joseph yelled back as he walked towards them from the front of the ship along with Kuzo. "Hey, I like the new hairstyle," Ishi said. "Thanks," Joseph said, chuckling. "There's some oatmeal and some leftover jerky we got in storage on the fire," Wara said as he walked out of the small room on the deck holding utensils. "Okay, sounds good," Joseph said as Wara handed him one of the bowls. As he stepped up to the pot, he ladled out some of the thick, gloppy oatmeal into the bowl, along with some of the dry jerky, and plopped it on the side, giving Kuzo, who was still perched on his shoulder, a few pieces. "Hey, who made this oatmeal?" Joseph said as he sat down, examining the goopy mess. "Wara made it before you and Cap came up here," Ishi said as he picked up his bowl. "Unfortunately," he mumbled. "If you don't like my oatmeal, you should have made it yourself," Wara yelled, his gut jiggling as he jokingly wound up his fist ready to fight Ishi. No, it's all right," Joseph chuckled. "Hey, you laughed," Caius said as he walked out of the kitchen with 2 bottles of sake. "Yeah, I did," Joseph said, surprising himself. "Looks good on you," Caius continued. "I guess so," Joseph said, smiling as he bit into the stale jerky. "Nice and rubbery, ain't it?" Ishi asked as he sat down. "Yeah, I just love it when my teeth break trying to eat," Joseph said, trying to crack a joke. "Ha ha ha," Caius laughed out, slapping Ishi, who was closest in the back. "Aye," he howled. "Captain, come on!" "What? It was funny. I love some sarcasm," he said, wiping a cheerful tear from his eye as the other hand held his stomach from the pain. "We made that jerky over a week ago before we left Kane," he continued. "Probably why it's so tough." "I was just kidding," Joseph said. "Plus, looks like Kuzo likes it, so it can't be that bad," he said, looking down as Kuzo chomped down on his last piece of jerky. "See, my jerky is better than your oatmeal, Wara," Caius said smugly, pouring out the sake from the bottle. "You know what? I'm done," Wara said as he untied the apron and threw it to the ground. "Ha ha! Come on, Wara, don't be childish now," Ishi said, laughing along. "Hey, Cap!" Sensei yelled from the rudder, his voice urgent and cautious. What happened?" Caius yelled back, as everyone's heads moved in unison to look at him. His right eye peered through a telescope as he pointed off into the distance. "Northern ship spotted off the starboard side about 2 clicks, give or take," Sensei yelled back, his eye fixated on the object in the distance. "Almighty, what now?" Caius said as he ran up to the rudder. Everyone fell silent as the joking vibe shifted to a serious, cutthroat one. "Are they heading towards us?" he asked, as Sensei handed him the telescope, stepping aside so Caius could see. "No, Cap, from the trajectory looks like they're heading to Naloa," Sensei replied. I see," Caius said as he saw the ship in the distance. The flag of the northern nation flapped in the wind as they sailed further and further away from the flaming lady. "Is something wrong?" Joseph asked as he got up, looking at Sensei and Caius talking amongst themselves. "Northern ship spotted in eastern waters could be trouble," Ishi said, looking over at Wara. "Why?" Joseph asked. "What's the North got to do with this?" he asked again, clueless of the transpiring events. "Right. You probably don't know," Wara said, looking over at Joseph. "Know what?" he asked. "At ease," Caius yelled, lowering the telescope. "Departing vessel, not incoming." "Thank Almighty," Ishi yelped as the sunken veil of seriousness lifted. "The spirits are definitely looking over us today," Caius said, as he and Sensei walked down towards the rest of them. "What happened to him?" Caius asked, nodding his head at Joseph as he looked at Ishi. "I'm just confused. What just happened?" Joseph said, looking around at them. "Cap, he doesn't know," Wara said empathetically. "Oh, sorry about that," Caius said, tapping his forehead at this sudden realization. You don't know about the strife between the Northerners and Kane, huh? He continued. Should I? Joseph asked. I mean, you're still pretty new, so we'll tell you over breakfast, he replied. Come on, Sensei, let's eat. As they all walked over to the seats arranged around the table with food, Caius let out a big sigh as he sat down, grabbing the cup he placed on the table before the ordeal. So you don't know about the North. Where do we start? Caius asked himself as he lifted the cup to his dry lips. Well, if you want to be blunt about it, he started to say, the Northern nation is full of violent assholes obsessed with war and shiny weapons. Joseph said, still confused. Come on, Cap. You got to start from the beginning if you want the kid to understand, Ishii said. All right, he said, pulling out an old folded map from his back pocket and handing it to Joseph. You see the country on the map? The Northern nation, he asked. The crinkled old map depicted all of the known territories and continents Joseph had heard of growing up, but had never seen. The grease stains and speckled spots decorating the map made it hard to concentrate on the names, however. It was clear as day the country Caius had mentioned. Yeah, I see it, Joseph said, looking at the map. Well, believe it or not, that used to be a colony of Kane, a few hundred years ago, he said, taking another sip. Really? Joseph asked. I had no idea Kane expanded beyond the eastern continent. Yeah, but there was a civil war between Kane and the colony, and a bunch of other countries got wrapped up in it, he continued. And ever since then, the relationship between Kane and them has been a little shaky. Oh, I see, Joseph replied. But that was before. Haven't they mended since then? He asked. Not in the slightest, Sensei said, butting in. Their people love fighting. And carnage, Ishii added. You never know if they're going to board you, steal your cargo, or sink you out of pure spite. That sounds horrible, Joseph said. No wonder you questioned if I was a Northern spy when you first pulled me on board. Yeah, gotta be wary, Caius said. But enough of this depressive stuff, Caius said, jumping up as he walked to the table and picked up the bottle again. You see that island circled there on the map? He asked, pointing to a small island off the coast of a crescent-shaped landmass. Based on where we picked you up last night, that's most likely the island you came from, he continued. But seeing as we caught that strong headwind, we'll be in Kane by tomorrow morning. He yelped. If we hadn't stopped to pick you up, we would have never shifted course or caught this wind. You're welcome, Joseph said unsurely. Why are you so unsure? Caius asked. You're the reason we're struck with such luck, he continued. Oh, Joseph said, smiling. Yeah, come on, smile. Caius yelled again, laughing out loud. Is he drunk or something? Joseph whispered over to Ishii, his hand covering his mouth. No. Well, a maybe, Ishii replied. He is kind of a lightweight. But I think it's his way of trying to make you feel better, he continued. Hey, you two, stop with all the depressive stuff, and let's dance, Caius said, grabbing Ishii from his seat, forcing him to dance to the non-existent music in his head. You all are crazy, Joseph said, laughing as he got up to join them.